Hello folks, this is Scott with Soul Reflections again. I want to talk about how to clean a door panel with inside your car. Now there's so many different surfaces or so many different materials when it comes to the door panel itself. We have plastic up here, we have wood veneer that's actually clear coated, then we have a leather armrest here, and then we have some plastic, and down below we have some fabric. This is almost like a carpet type of material on the bottom of this door panel. Now typically somebody would look at this door and think, okay, I gotta have a plastic cleaner, gotta have a leather cleaner, have to have some type of carpet cleaner, and that would kind of make sense, but then you would end up having 4 or 5 different cleaners just to get this one particular area of the car cleaned. And sometimes you don't have to overthink it, you don't have to go that far and have, selected products to be able to hit all these different types of materials on the door panel. Plus you have the door sill as well, and parts of the jamb that are painted, they're painted surfaces, and they need to be cleaned as well too. So when I look at a door like this, I have a couple of different ways that I can attack this. I have here in my little pack here, I have some brushes, I have some non-abrasive type of Scotch-Brite pad, which works really, really well. The other thing that I have that works great too is this magic eraser. I know some of you are probably looking at this and going, boy, I use that inside the house. I'll take stains off the door or off the wall or something like that. And this can work rather well too. And just kind of illustrate how this works is if you take some dedicated all-purpose cleaner, the all-purpose cleaner that I like to use is made by Meguiar's. It's their professional line all-purpose cleaner. And this particular cleaner here I have diluted at 10:1. It seems to hit the sweet spot of being able to clean just about every area around the vehicle. But typically what I can do here with this particular door panel is again, I have a couple of different options. I have some tools, some brushes, I have a little magic eraser, and I can just sit here and simply spray the panel. And right now I'm actually hitting the panel that's got some plastic pieces to it and then also the leather. And then I can just take this magic eraser and maybe give it a little spray of the all-purpose cleaner on it. And I can go around and clean this leather armrest. I can clean this plastic piece. And when you're using a magic eraser, if you've ever used one before, and I'll assume that most of you have, it is slightly abrasive, so you have to use some common sense here. Just like if you were using a brush, a soft bristle brush, you don't want to apply too much pressure and actually damage the material. But a magic eraser or even a brush, if you use them correctly, incredibly effective at cleaning the door panel. So I would just simply go around this panel and hit these areas like this leather armrest, this plastic piece here. And then once I'm done with that, I can take a microfiber towel and just simply mop up after I've cleaned all the surface off. And then when I look at this panel, when I'm done, it looks absolutely great. It looks clean, it's not damaged in any way, and I'm ready to apply some type of conditioner or any type of plastic dressing or leather dressing if I want. There's another way that I choose to clean doors or door panels inside a car, and it really depends on the layer of layer of gunk or junk that might be on the panel itself. Sometimes getting in and out of the car, we can kick the panel with our shoe, and all that dirt that's on our shoe can kind of lie upon the surface of the panel, and then we have to be a little bit more aggressive in those areas to remove that dirt. But one of the things that I like to do that's incredibly effective and very, very safe on all the materials on the door panel is actually use steam. And when I use steam, I have a little triangular head that's on the end of this steamer, and I put a little microfiber towel around it, and it allows it to be incredibly soft and gentle. Yet the steam can still transfer through the microfiber towel, be incredibly effective at removing all that grease and grime and dirt, and sometimes just from putting our arms on the armrest up here or up by the window. I tend to have a habit of, instead of putting my arm here on the armrest where it was designed, I'll put it up here on the plastic right up against the glass window, and sometimes the moisture or the sweat or any type of oils that come off my arm can actually get stuck to these areas of the door panel. And when that happens, and over a period of time, if it's been a long time since you've cleaned your door, it can be really difficult to get some of that stuff off. But what I'll do is I'll take an all-purpose cleaner, just like I did before with the magic eraser or with a scrub brush. I'll just take the all-purpose cleaner, hit that area of the panel. Again, I'm hitting the leather surfaces, I'm hitting the plastic surfaces, and then I would take this steamer and then just lightly go over the panel. And because I'm using this special head on the end of the steamer, ooh, that's a little hot, and the microfiber towels wrapped around it, it's incredibly soft, it's incredibly gentle, it's not going to hurt any of the plastic, but I get a lot of the heat from the steam that has the ability, with the help of the cleaner on it as well, to really bust through and clean up all that grease and grime and sweat and oils that may be on that door panel from our arm, and then I would just simply go in and mop up. Now, when I've done this to all the surfaces around the door panel, some of us want to grab, some of us may want to grab like a leather conditioner and put it on the leather armrest here. We might want to use some type of plastic dressing or UV protection on the plastic. And then we've got this piece of wood here, this wood veneer that's got some clear coat on it, so you can end up having like 3 different types of dressings to be able to protect these areas from UV rays. But for me, one of the things that makes my life a little bit simpler, and it's incredibly effective, is using Meguiar's spray wax. Now, some of you might be saying, I'm going to apply a spray wax, like a carnauba-based spray wax, but that's not really the case. What I'm using is, this is actually 100% synthetic. It's also a non-staining formula. It's not going to stain any of the plastic trim up here on top of the door panel. But this is a polymer sealant. It's got synthetic polymers in it, and what it's able to do is actually, if you want to look at it this way, is condition this part of the door, whether it be the leather armrest, the plastic pieces around the door, or the wood veneer. And what's really nice about this spray wax is, again, it doesn't stain anything, yet it's going to put a layer of protection all the way around this door panel from UV rays. And it works incredibly well. So what I would do is I would take a microfiber towel and just fold this in 4s, and then I would have a working area here on the towel, and I would just simply give a couple sprays on the towel, and then I would work over the whole entire door, including the leather surfaces, the plastic surfaces, the wood veneer, and the plastic up here by the window, and even over the door handle, and just work that in all over the panel. And what I would be doing is actually conditioning and being able to put some type of protectant all the way around the door. And what's great about this stuff is it smells amazing too, so it's going to be a nice effect even when you're inside the car. It's got a really nice scent to it. But as far as cleaning the door itself and the door panel, you can break out brushes, you can break out the magic eraser and get a really excellent job with those types of tools, and using a good all-purpose cleaner would be able to dial in and clean this door completely. Now, there's one note that I want to bring up, is that if you're using any type of all-purpose cleaner and you're spraying it onto the panel, or when you're using the steamer, when I squeeze the trigger, I don't know if I'm pretty sure that the video's picking that up, there's a lot of steam that comes out. And it's about 95% steam, and then you have about 5% residual water. Between the cleaner in itself and the 5% residual water that could come out of the head of the steamer, you might get a little bit of cleaner and some water get trapped in the cracks around all these different areas around the panel, all the little nooks and crannies. And if that happens, one of the things that you want to do is you want to get those you want to get the cleaner and any type of water that might have gotten trapped inside those cracks, you want to get them out, because what will happen is when you think you've completely cleaned the door and you walk away, some of that residual water and cleaner may run out of these little cracks and crevices in the door panel, and it could actually look like it's staining the door, but it's just basically the cleaner that's come out of those cracks and started to dry on the surface of the panel. And so what I like to do after I've sprayed down the door panel, I've used a steamer and cleaned off the whole door, and then I go in and I mop up after myself, I like to take a little handheld blower. This is a blower made by X-Power, and it's effective for all different areas of the car. I can do light dusting on the dashboard, I can blow certain types of material out of the vehicle. It just makes it incredibly easy for myself. But this blower here also blows out heated air as well. But I'll work around the door panel, around all the little cracks and crevices, and just make sure that I completely blow out any residual water that might be left over from the steamer, any type of cleaner that might have gotten inside these cracks. So this works really, really well to be able to get all that stuff out of those little nooks and crannies before I actually put some type of conditioner all the way around the panel. And then of course I have the door sills themselves and their painted surfaces. The steamer works great for that as well, as I can take the head off and put a different type of head on it, and I can actually spray like an all-purpose cleaner around the sills and then just kind of slowly work around. The door sills like that, and actually I'll spray this down here with some all-purpose cleaner and then hit it again with some steam. And then what I'll do is I'll just simply mop up with a dry microfiber. And that works incredibly well. I have a nice clean door sill here. And because it's a painted surface and I already have my Meguiar's spray wax with me, and of course this spray wax is great on the painted panels of your vehicle, you can also use it here as well. And again, I would take my microfiber towel and fold it in fours and just apply some of that spray wax onto the microfiber and just work it into all the painted areas around this sill. Now when I look at that door sill, and I've applied not only did I clean it with the steamer, but I applied some synthetic spray wax to this area, I've gone ahead and increased the gloss and shine around the door panel, and I've also been able to protect it as well. And I can use that same type of spray wax, that Meguiar synthetic spray wax, and also cover all the different materials on this door panel, whether it be plastic or the wood veneer that's clear coated, the leather, and just as a side note, this synthetic spray wax by Meguiar's, again this is from their professional line, when it comes to the wood veneer that's up here on top of this door and it's got a clear coat finish on it, this stuff works incredibly well with not allowing any types of streaks or any type of residue show up on that clear coated wood veneer. And it gives it some nice pop, just like applying some type of wax or that particular spray wax onto the surface of the paint. It does the same effect inside the door panels as well. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea how the different methods I may employ when I'm cleaning a door panel for my customers. But I would say about 95% of the time I would use the steamer with an all-purpose cleaner, and it just makes the job so incredibly easy, and the door will look absolutely gorgeous and nice and clean. And just as a side note too, when you're using a steamer, you're also killing some types of bacteria that could be on the door as well. So that's just kind of like an added bonus to the cleaning process in using the steamer. Again, I kind of hope that shows you exactly how I clean the door, the different types of method. I can choose to use a brush if I want, or a magic eraser, or some type of non-abrasive Scotch-Brite pad if there's a lot of dirt and grease and grime all over the leather. Sometimes I can make it nice to be able to get in there and not scratch the leather, but agitate the surface of the leather with the cleaner on it and really dial in and make that leather armrest look great. But typically for me, all the way around the whole door panel, it's just great to have one tool in my hand with a good dedicated all-purpose cleaner, and I can absolutely clean this door and it looks amazing when it's done. Then of course apply some type of protectant, and the protectant I choose to use on doors because there's so many different types of materials that the door could be made out of is McGuire synthetic spray wax. It works great to protect it, and it smells amazing as well. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. I hope this video was helpful, and until the next time, be safe.